Welcome everyone to this Tourism Awards workshop. I'm Carolyn Knott. I am Head of Partnerships at the Combined Authority, and I've been working on the Tourism Awards for many, many years now. And we're joined as well by Katie Isaacson from Cool Breeze Agency, who helps us deliver the awards every year. So we're just going to take you through a few slides for the next sort of hopefully less than an hour. We hopefully have a bit of time for some many Q&A afterwards. We are recording this and we will make it available afterwards as well. We will be able to send the link out so you can look back if you need to. So just on, okay, is it working? There we go. What we're going to cover. So we're going to cover sort of why businesses enter the awards, what the process is for your application. If you've never entered before, this will be completely new to you. I know there are some people on the call who have entered before, so it should be quite familiar. We'll cover, what you need to put in your application and what the next steps are. So why do businesses enter the awards? Effectively, customers will pay more for excellence, and the awards are part of a journey. It's about being the best that you can, and simply by just entering, you can get a great number of benefits. Even just being part of that, being on that shortlist, and being part of that awards, does sort of give you a bit of a quality rubber stamp. Just by applying, you're turning the spotlight onto your business, and it shows, it shows how it looks like from a customer's perspective. It can help retain and recruit better staff if they know you're a quality business. You've got that quality mark. It gives you that extra profile. There's lots of PR and opportunities from entering the awards, and that pride of being in that sort of cohort of businesses who've being part of that ceremony on the night, and potentially profit as well, because customers will look for businesses that have got that quality mark, and they're quite happily pay for a premium for a better experience. So do bear that in mind. And it's all about celebrating local excellence. And here's a few images from our awards this year when we were at the cathedral back in March. There's some very happy faces there. So I think it was a great night. And if we have time towards the end, I've got a little bit of a video to show us of the night. So what Visit England do is every year they do an applicant survey, and they ask all the applicants, why do you enter your local tourism awards? And these are the top 5 reasons. Again, it's to that the top reason is to provide that mark of quality assurance. And then it's for the PR media coverage, and that can be local PR media, national, if you go forward to the Visit England Awards. There's lots to be gained from that. For the chance to go on and win regionally and nationally, that's why they enter. And they also want that independent feedback for the business. So whether you're in round 1 or round 2, if you get through to round 2, you will receive judges' feedback. And that's really valuable. Businesses say that's really valuable for them. And it's also to share and encourage best practice within their business. So that's sort of what the top 5 reasons are for entering. And again, just to recap there, it's that mark of quality assurance. It to give you a bit of a competitive edge, and to get it's a bit of a business diagnostic for your own business. It helps you sort of look at your own business in depth in various areas, like accessibility and sustainability and marketing and your approach to your business. So it gives you a bit of an opportunity to do an annual deep dive into your business. It also gives you the opportunity to network and celebrate with other businesses, as well as reward and motivating your team. I'm hoping this little video might work, but if it doesn't, the sound doesn't come through, if somebody could just say, but let's see if it does.
Hi, I'm Di Glover. I'm the marketing manager here in the Beatles Story, Liverpool, and we are absolutely delighted to have been shortlisted for the Visit England Awards for Excellence in the category of international tourism, which we won last year. We got gold, and it brought with it many benefits such as greater exposure, PR, media opportunities, which is really important for a attraction that is based outside the London region, and we're looking forward to it.
I'm hoping you all heard that. Okay, so let's talk about the actual awards process then. So we are one of about 22 destinations around the country who run our local awards, and we all then all our winners then feed into the Visit England National Awards for Excellence. So we all use the same criteria, the same application forms, the same judging process, which gives us all a level playing field. So when Visit England are judging their categories, they know that each of the local destinations around the country, they've all adopted the same process. Just so you know that on our current Tourism Awards website, there's a lot of information on there already. So you can go on there and you'll find the list of categories. There will be some sample application forms, details of how to apply, what the terms and conditions are, some top tips, key dates, sponsor information, and the current winners gallery. So if you haven't been onto the Tourism Awards page yet, please do. Just on those sample application forms, whilst you have to apply online through our open water portal, which is a Visit England portal, we do have sample application forms. So quite a number of businesses choose to work offline. They don't want to sort of suddenly go and do all input all their information on the portal. They might just work offline for a bit and take a bit of time. So you can download those application forms. It'll give you the questions and what you're going to be asked. So you can do that. You can do that offline to start with if you like to. So just to run through what the core categories are. So these are the ones carried by Visit England. And these are the ones that we've chosen to run. So we do have, nothing's changed from last year. They're all the same. Sometimes we do sort of change the odd one or two categories, but they're all the same as of last year. You can see them on the screen there. I probably don't need to read them all out. Regards to the taste category, we have we split that category. So we have the cafe of the year and the restaurant of the year. It's the restaurant of the year that tends to go through to the Visit England Awards, and every other one of those categories, all the winners of these categories on screen will go forward to be considered for Visit England, be judged at national level. So there's a lot of benefits for entering these core categories. But equally, we choose to run a number of local categories because we feel that our city region would benefit from these particular categories. So we introduced the event festival category last year. This is an application in the first round, as normal as all the other ones are. But in the second round, that particular category will go out to public vote, and that's what we did last year. We choose to run the entertainment venue of the year because we feel we've got a huge array of fantastic venues across the city region in terms of music venues, gig venues, theatres, etc. So we like to choose to run that particular category, as well as the independent tourism business, because we feel we have such a huge range of different independent businesses. Visit England don't run that category, but we feel that, and a lot of other local other destinations are choosing to run that category. So it might appear at some point on the Visit England core categories. And then again, for our young people, we always like to have that shine the light on our young talent in the region. So we always run a tourism young person. Again, I think Visit England might be starting to look at that one because a number of destinations are also running that sort of tourism young person or rising star category. So I can probably see in a few years' time that also might appear in the Visit England categories as well. And then the outstanding contributions to tourism is something that we've run for many years. That is a panel decision, not one that can be applied for. So just to run through the actual judging process. So going from the top left, so the business you'll enter the awards. Just to remind you again, the closing date is the 7th of September. That then goes through to round one judging, which is we have a pool of judges who will be scoring all those applications online and doing all the sort of sense checking you've entered the right categories, but those eligibility checks. So we allow sort of a few weeks for that to take place. You'll then be advised if you have been shortlisted. We envisage that will be around mid-October, where we'll be announcing the shortlist. Once that shortlist is announced, we will then go straight into round two visits, and they take place a range of different second round visits, from mystery shop visits to announced visits to interviews. It just depends on which category you've applied for, which one you're shortlisted for. We would envisage that'll be all sort of complete this side of Christmas, and then we'll sort of have an idea of who our winners are. We then go into our event, the local awards event, which this year is on the 4th of February, so it is a little bit earlier than normal. Hence why we need to sort of get those. We've brought the timetable forward a little bit. So yeah, 4th of February, it's a date for your diary. Once that awards has taken place, all the feedback will be sent out to all the entrants. So you will receive your, regardless whether you've won or not, even if you win, you'll get your feedback as well. So like the judges' reports, the mystery shop reports, or any judges' comments and scores, we'll be getting that feedback through to you. All our winners will then be put forwarded to the Visit England Awards, and the Visit England judges will then start doing their judges. There's nothing else you need to do at this point. Your original application still stands. You don't have to do any further application, but it does make sense that when you're doing your first application to really put as much detail and effort into it as possible, because potentially if that wins, that'll be then going forward to the Visit England judges as well. So like I say, there's nothing specific you need to do if you are a winner and you are going forward. Visit England, obviously there's about 22 destinations that they'll be scoring against. They will come up with a top 3, and if you're in that top 3, you will be invited to the Visit England Awards, which takes place in June every year. And you know, we've, like I said, as Di Glover said from Beetle Story, you know, we've had great success in recent years, and they won gold for the international tourism category this year, and then last year we had lots of winners at the Visit England level. So in recent years we've done particularly well at the Visit England Awards, which is absolutely brilliant for our city region. Okay, so for the actual application system itself, so for those who are not familiar with this, and I think there are probably a few of you on the call, we use an online system called Open Water for our entries. It is a Visit England system, so like I say, all the destinations around the country use this Open Water system, and you just need to create a login and an account for yourself. Within that, once you're inside in the open water system, you'll be able to, so you can see on the right hand side there, you can be able to see a list of all the categories. That particular list is the full list of all the Visit England categories. There are some categories there you'll see that we don't run, but you know, when you go into the open water, you will see our core categories that we've chosen and the ones that you can apply for. it is pretty straightforward system. It is quite a user-friendly system, but we're always at hand if you get stuck. But it just takes you through each page of what you need to fill in. But like I say, you can also work on the Word documents offline if you prefer to start with. We would always recommend that you go onto the system as soon as possible and at least start choosing your categories. So that's on the open water. And so then once you get into the open water system, it'll ask you a number of questions. The first one, which isn't scored, but it's just a bit of background for the judges. So it's a little bit of details of sort of business details, a little bit of a promotional description that's required, 3 promotional images to represent your business, a little bit of the background. So it'll give you a word count. So it's not too onerous, this bit. It's just a little bit basic background information for when the judges, we have to assume the judges don't know anything about your business. So this is a bit of an introduction to your business. And also it'll ask for if you've got any awards or accolades. It'll ask you for details of them. Just you can input that. Supporting evidence. Each question it's not an obligation to add loads of supporting evidence. It's just a bit of backup information that you want to refer to. We would always recommend that you do add a little bit of supporting evidence. It's all has to be done through links. You can't upload sort of PDFs and Word documents or extra images. It all has to be link based. So particularly if you're looking at, say, your online presence and online reviews, you would add in links to your online reviews. Or if you've got sort of accessibility statements on your website or sustainability statements, that's where you would add in those links to that as that supporting evidence. And judges will do a thorough review of your online presence. So it's just make sure you add in those extra links. You can put sort of as many links as you like in, but I'd probably leave it to maybe 3 to 5 at max. So you might have some fantastic reviews that you want to make sure that the judges see. So that's where you would add that. And so the importance of online reviews, it'll ask you to sort of put those links to the review sites, your website, all your social media channels. Oh, sorry, I've gone a little bit. Where did we go then? Yeah, all your social media channels. You don't have to have a social media channel for every platform. Some businesses do, but the judges don't expect. So it's going a little bit mad here. The judges don't expect that you'd have a social media for every single platform, but do add in any that you do have. And again, that's where it says about that regenerative tourism, which is the sustainability policy, accessibility information, and any additional evidence of any engagement that you're doing. So the 4 key questions that you'll get asked are around your top qualities, your recent improvements, your results, and your future plans. So with regards to your top qualities, this is really focusing on your unique selling points. It's about the quality of your core product and customer experience, how you care for your team, how you use suppliers, how you're innovative marketing and PR, your inclusive facilities and your sustainability facilities. It'll ask you for, I think, your top 5 qualities that you need to sort of really focus in. And the judges, there's a judge's guideline of what the judges will be looking for. So some of the areas to consider, how you care for your customers, always going that extra mile, what staff training and development you have, any induction processes for new staff, what customer feedback and initiatives you have. And again, you can link to any of that customer feedback if you have it online. The judges are really looking for that attention to detail. And in particular, like on the marketing side, is there anything specific marketing and promotion that you've carried out in the last sort of 12 months? Have you done anything different or out of the ordinary? Have you got new social networking sites? Have you changed them at all? Are you doing any collaborative marketing with other businesses or other destination partnership businesses? So is engaging. Are you engaged with the City Region Destination Partnership? Are you engaged with any of the other local council campaigns, etc.? So these are all sort of things you could be considering for that question 1. And again, inclusive facilities. This is a really big area for Visit England, and so it forms quite a big part of that judging process. They want to sort of see that all businesses are open and available to a diverse audience, and how you provide your visitors with access needs. Have you got an accessibility statement? If you haven't, I would recommend that you have one and start to look at one. There's some links there about how to write an access statement. Even if you think your business or your building is, a listed building and it's got very little access, it's not all about wheelchair access. There's a whole different range of different types of accessibility and inclusive needs that you can look at. Let me just go back to, so yeah, those links are quite important there. It does make business sense to look at this area in detail. There's nearly 1 in 4 people in the UK have an impairment, which may affect where they choose to stay. So improving your accessibility can actually benefit all customers. It doesn't require major or expensive changes. Sometimes, like I say, just providing a free accessibility guide can help them make a decision of whether they want to visit you or not. It will appeal to a wide range of customers. It's like it's not just disabled customers. It's families, it's older people, people with health conditions and impairments. They tend to take longer breaks than average. It's from the data, and therefore they might spend more money on their visits. But they do want that information in advance to make those decisions. So that's why accessibility is a real key area. If you have any questions at all, or like I say, you can go on these sort of links about access and how to do an access statement. Or you can obviously just come and ask us for any further questions on that. Picture of Eureka there, who actually won our Accessibility Inclusive Tourism Award last year, and also went on to Visit England and won gold at Visit England as well. So they are an exemplar in our region for how to do it well and how to do it good. So please do bear that in mind when you're looking at that. But please do ask any questions at all when it comes to accessibility. The same for regenerative tourism, which is kind of the new word for sustainable tourism. This is all about, championing a place, leaving a place better than it was before, having that impact, making that sustainability impact. Everyone has to do their bit, use local suppliers. How are you looking at your business in terms of climate change, net zero, biodiversity, how you work with local communities, how do you link back to local, are you employing local people, using local produce. There's a whole range of information available on the Visit England website about that, but it is key. Another key area, so please do put some thought into that. And if you don't have a sustainability statement, again, come and talk to us about that. Have a think about creating one. We can sort of give you sort of ideas of templates to use for that. Question 2 is about your recent improvements. Potentially looking back at really in the last sort of year to 18 months, what have you done in your business to improve it? What sort of promotional initiatives have you used? Have you done some training with your staff? Have you improved the skills of your staff? Have you upgraded any of your facilities? What sort of sustainable practices have you put in place? Have you diversified anything? Have you adopted any new digital technologies? And please do sort of give an idea of the dates for these improvements when you've done it as well, and sort of what the outcomes were. Which is kind of coming on to the next question, your results. Has anything you've done in question 2 and those improvements, has that resulted in success? Are you able to attribute that success to any of those improvements you've made? Some guidance there, don't be vague, use some figures and specific examples. So results could be, for example, an certain percentage increase in occupancy figures or visitor numbers, sales figures, wastage reduction, a number of percentage increase in online bookings. Can you demonstrate business generated from some of your marketing activity, your growth of your social media and following and engagement, etc., and what that impact on the business has been? And then the final question, we'll just talk about your future plans and what you hope to be doing in the next sort of coming years ahead. The judges will look for how businesses continue to evolve. A truly outstanding business never stands still. So they'll be asking for sort of three ways you look to how you're developing your business and promoting it over the next year, and what plans you've got. This could be, you might have sort of an upgrade planned. You might have some training or skills, upskilling of your team planned. You might have some marketing campaigns you want to get involved with. You might be sort of putting some improvements in your property, use of digital technologies. You might be using AI more, etc. So it's just looking ahead of what does the next year look like, and how you're going to be attracting different audiences. You might want to look at different partnerships, different audiences you might want to start looking at. So that's your future plans. And in one sense, that's the 4 questions that you'll be asked. They're around about sort of 300 to 500 words each, so you are given that word count guidance. So do use those wisely. So a few top tips here. So definitely sort of set up your account early. If you're an existing entrant, you probably already got your logins from previous years. If you haven't entered ever before, then go onto the link, the Open Water link, and start setting up your account early. Not saying to start filling in necessarily your application straight away, but just at least set up your account, get logged in, and put some few basic details. At the very least, start choosing your categories. You can enter as many categories as you want that you are eligible for. So you do need to just check that eligibility criteria to make sure that you are entering the right category. So for example, we have small visitor attraction and we have large visitor attraction. So that's based on the number of visitors for the attraction. So it's just making sure that you're entering the correct one. Just have a quick read through all the questions to start with, just so you familiarise yourself with those 4 questions and what you have, what the task is. And definitely read that sort of guidance information at the beginning of each of those questions. It sort of gives you a bit of a guidance of what the judges will be looking for, and some suggestions of what to include in your answers. So that's a key top tips there. I know it sounds simple, but make sure you do actually answer the question, and you're not sort of waffling. It's just very focused on what the question actually is. Do tailor it to your business. If you are doing multiple applications, try not to copy and paste. There'll be some bits that might be still relevant for a different category, but make sure that you are tailoring your answer to that particular category. Use facts and add in links to evidence wherever you can. Don't assume the judges know your business at all. We use a variety, different pool of judges, and some might not know your business. They might think they might know, but they don't know the in-depth part of your business. So give as much information as possible within the word limit. And like I say, that's any obvious thing, making every word count. Don't try not to duplicate. That word limit is that word count is quite important, because quite often we'll see businesses not using the word count, and judges might depict that as like, well, that's maybe they haven't got enough to say. I'm pretty sure you can probably sell your business and write as much as you can in 300 words or 500 words. So please do try and use as much of that word count as possible, and that all aspects of your business is covered. Start the preparation early. We have opened applications and we are running till the 7th of September. Which is not that far away really, and considering we've got the summer months and everyone's busy and everyone's taking holidays. So the earlier you start, the better. It will take a bit of time. It would just, take a bit of effort. We do encourage you to not just write it on your own, use your colleagues, get people to sense check it and read over it as well. We want those applications to reflect your passion and personality of your business. We don't, we get asked the question quite often, about using AI to write applications, and I think more and more applications are coming across that they are written by AI, but that's not going to reflect your passion and your personality. That's not going to reflect your specific outcomes and your specific targets for the year. So whilst we don't, we don't discourage it, we don't encourage it either. We just sort of make sure that you are very much tailoring your application to your business, and that it's reflected through that. So don't forget about the accessibility and sustainability bit, because it is important. I guess embrace those review sites. Make sure you are linking back to those. Read that form a couple of times over before you actually submit it. Like I say, involve other team members and review and submit it on time, if not before. I mean, the sooner you get them done, the better for us. It makes our lives a lot easier. We can, there's a few of us who can obviously go into the back end of Open Water, and we can sort of see who's started their applications. It gives us a good guideline of when we're monitoring, have we got enough entries in each of the categories and where to focus our efforts. And if you start, at least go online and start your application, then you won't get hassled by us to say, come on, let's get your entries in. And if you are thinking of doing more than one entry as well, it's about just giving yourself enough time to do that. Please don't forget there are 2 categories there for the people-based categories, the tourism young person and the unsung hero. Any business can apply for those categories. You might want to do obviously your core business category, whether it's a hotel or attraction, etc. But please don't forget the people in your business as well. And we get some really good entries on that unsung hero and tourism young people. It's a real good sort of highlight for them on the night as well, if they're a winner. So please do think about those categories. So the next steps, how are we doing on time? All right. The next steps are, like I say, the applications are open. The deadline is 5 o'clock on the 7th. The 7th is a Monday. So ideally, please get your entries in before then. We don't have an awful lot of time after the 7th to prepare our judges, our first round judges. So they really need to get going immediately with their scoring. We don't just use one judge, we use about at least 2 or 3 judges per application. So we use a lot of judges. So the sooner you get your applications in, the better for us, and not going right to the wire, not going right to the 5 o'clock deadline. And you've got plenty of time, hopefully, to start those now. Mid-October, 13th of October, we'll be announcing those finalists, whether you're on that shortlist. And then we will be coming together at Liverpool Cathedral on the 4th of February next year. Visit England always run their awards in June every year. We don't know the date yet. We don't know where it'll be, but we'll find that out sort of nearer the time, and hopefully we'll get some of our winners at the ceremony next year. There's lots of useful links here. I won't go through them all, but a variety of different links on accessibility, sustainability, PR toolkits, etc. So yeah, they're all available on the Visit England site. And you'll be able to sort of get this recording afterwards, so you can be able to click on those links. And we can make the slide deck available as well. And that's pretty much it on the questions. I'm hoping the video did actually work earlier. If anyone can give me a bit of a yes.
It did, yeah.
It did. Okay, so we've got a bit of time, so I'm just going to want to show you the Tourism Awards video from this last year, just to give it a bit of a flavour of what the night was like and the winners were. So I'm going to just play that now. Okay, I am going to stop sharing